Let me ask you something straight from the heart. Have you ever looked at a woman you admired? Maybe across the dinner table, maybe at church, or maybe in your own neighborhood, and felt that invisible wall between you, that quiet sense that she is there in body, but not in spirit. She smiles, she nods, but her eyes drift away as if she is somewhere else entirely. You notice the distance. It is subtle, but it is real. She is polite, yes, but something inside you whispers, she does not feel it. She does not want me. I am invisible. That thought alone can sink into your chest like a stone, leaving you heavy and uncertain. And that moment, my friend, can cut deeper than most men are willing to admit. Because it does not just feel like she is uninterested in that moment. It feels like a reflection of your worth. It can make even the strongest, most accomplished man question himself, question his value, question whether he even has what it takes to connect with a woman anymore. But I am here today to tell you something important. That wall you feel is not permanent. It is not a verdict on your future. Women are not statues carved from stone. Feelings are not fixed in place forever. They can shift, they can soften, minds can open, and attraction can grow where once there seemed to be nothing at all. Stay with me through this entire conversation, and I will show you exactly how to make that shift happen. Not with tricks, not with games, not with manipulation, but with something far more powerful, far more genuine, and far more lasting. Because what I am about to share with you is not theory. It is the real psychology of women. It is the truth about how they think, how they feel, and what awakens attraction in them. By the time we finish, you will understand how to become the kind of man women naturally lean toward, even when in the beginning, they seem uninterested. I am Dr. Anna Collins, and for years I have helped men just like you find the confidence to understand women, not by pretending to be someone they are not, but by unlocking the strengths that were always within them. So, if you have ever felt invisible, overlooked, or unwanted, know this. Today is the beginning of a new understanding. The first truth we need to face is this. When a woman seems uninterested, it is often not because you have failed or done something wrong. It is because she is careful. Every woman carries her own history. Her heart has likely been tested, perhaps even broken, at different points in her life. Disappointments, betrayals, and painful experiences leave marks, and those marks make her cautious. So when she first meets a man, her guard naturally rises. She is not being cold out of cruelty. She is protecting herself. In those first moments of meeting someone new, she is not focusing on whether your shirt is expensive or whether you look 10 years younger than your age. She is paying attention to something deeper. She is quietly asking herself questions she may not even put into words. Can I feel safe with this man? Can I relax in his presence? Will he listen to me or only talk about himself? Will I feel alive with him or will I feel drained? These are the questions that shape her body language, her tone, and the impression she gives you. The mistake many men make is taking this guardedness personally. They see her polite smile or distant tone as a sign of rejection. They assume she has already made her decision, and so they give up too quickly. Some men, on the other hand, swing in the opposite direction. They try too hard to break through her wall. They overcompensate with jokes, compliments, or attempts to impress her. And in doing so, they actually make her retreat further because she senses the desperation. But here is the truth that changes everything. Her coolness is not always rejection. More often than not, it is protection. When you begin to see it this way, you stop approaching her with fear or frustration. You start approaching her with patience. Instead of feeling desperate, you feel steady. Instead of trying to push her, you simply allow her space. And this shift, the difference between anxious energy and calm presence, is exactly what begins to draw her closer. Because deep down, what every woman wants is to feel safe. When you remain calm, when you are patient, when you do not take her guardedness personally, you show her something rare. You show her that you are a man who cannot be shaken by a little distance. And slowly her guard begins to soften. Imagine for a moment two men speaking to the same woman. The first man cannot sit still. His eyes dart nervously around the room, as if he is always searching for approval. His words come out too quickly, one stacked on top of the other, leaving her no space to breathe. Even his laughter feels forced, sharp and restless, as though he is trying to fill every second with sound. He believes he is making an impression, but what she actually feels is his insecurity. She notices it instantly, before he even finishes a full sentence. Now picture the second man. He does not rush. He looks into her eyes with steady calm, as though there is no one else in the world who matters in that moment. He is not in a hurry to speak. He listens, not with the impatience of a man waiting for his turn, but with the quiet strength of someone who values her words. Even when silence falls between them, he does not scramble to fill it. He allows the stillness to exist, and in that stillness, she feels a surprising sense of ease. Which man do you think she will find more attractive? Always the second. Not because of what he says, not because of the cleverness of his words, but because of how he makes her feel. Women sense energy long before they process language. The nervous energy of the first man pushes her away, while the steady calm of the second draws her closer without effort. Your presence, the way you sit, the way you breathe, the way you listen, is the true foundation of attraction. It is not about rehearsed lines or tricks. It is about embodying calm confidence that tells her, you are safe here. And when a woman feels safe, something rare happens. She begins to open. She relaxes. She feels grounded, almost as if she has stepped into a space where she does not need to pretend. And this feeling of safety is not small. It is the soil in which attraction grows. A flower cannot bloom in rocky, unstable ground, and neither can a woman's interest bloom in restless energy. But when you offer her steadiness, when you give her presence instead of performance, you create the perfect conditions for her to feel something deeper. That is when desire begins to awaken, not forced, not rushed, but naturally, like the first warmth of the sun after a long night. Now, once a woman begins to feel safe in your presence, there is something else that quietly awakens her desire, often without her even realizing it. That something is curiosity. You see, women are naturally drawn to discovery. They are not only interested in what you say, but in the layers beneath your words, the texture of your life, and the emotions that shaped you. If she looks at you and feels she has you completely figured out within 2 minutes, her mind will wander elsewhere. But if she senses depth, if she feels there is more to you than meets the eye, something she cannot immediately define, suddenly you become intriguing. And intrigue is one of the most powerful sparks of attraction. Curiosity is like oxygen for a woman's interest. It makes her lean closer, not because you demanded her attention, but because she wants to explore you. She begins to ask herself questions. Who is this man really? What experiences made him this way? Why do I feel a pull toward him even though I cannot explain it? These questions stir her heart far more than rehearsed lines or flashy gestures ever could. And when she feels curious about you, she invests more of herself in the connection. The key to awakening this curiosity is not to create a performance, but to open a window into your world. The most effective way to do this is through storytelling. For example, do not stop at simply saying, "I like traveling." That is a statement that carries no emotion, no image, no life. Instead, bring her into a moment. Tell her about the time you stood at the edge of the ocean for the first time, feeling small under the endless sky, yet at the same time deeply alive, as though the whole world was breathing with you. Suddenly, she is not just hearing about travel. She is standing beside you in that moment, seeing the ocean through your eyes. Or perhaps you want to talk about music. Instead of the flat words, "I like music," share the evening when a certain song reminded you of your father, and unexpectedly, tears filled your eyes. Explain how that melody carried not just notes, but memories. The warmth of his laughter, the lessons he left behind, the presence you still feel, even though he is no longer sitting beside you. That is not just a preference for music. That is an invitation into your heart. And women, far more than men, long to step into that emotional space. Remember, these stories are not about impressing her with grandeur. They are not meant to make you appear larger than life. Instead, they reveal that you are alive, that you feel deeply, that you carry history within you. They show that you are more than surface-level words. These stories are not performances. They are glimpses into your humanity. And women love to look through those windows, because through them, they see a man who is real. When you share in this way, you awaken something powerful. You transform from just another man making conversation into someone she feels connected to on a deeper level. And once curiosity is alive inside her, it becomes the bridge to something greater: admiration, respect, and yes, desire. So many men over 60 come to me with the same heavy sigh and the same worried look in their eyes. They say, "Doctor, I think I am too old. Women only want young men now." I always pause when I hear this because it is one of the greatest lies men tell themselves, and it is heartbreaking because when a man believes this lie, he carries it into every interaction with women. He walks in already defeated, already assuming he is invisible, and women can feel that energy. Let me stop you right here, my friend. Age is not your weakness. In fact, it can be your greatest strength. Think about it. Your years have given you something most younger men do not yet have: perspective. You have lived through challenges, through losses, through victories, and through seasons of change. Every line on your face, every story in your heart is proof that you carry wisdom. And wisdom is far more attractive than you might realize. You see, women do not always want youth. Youth can be fun, yes, but it often comes with immaturity, with uncertainty, with instability. What women truly long for, especially when they are looking for something real, is security, respect, and energy. They want to feel safe with a man. They want to feel that when the storms of life come, he will not crumble. And this is something younger men often cannot provide. But you can. And here is the beautiful truth. When you embrace your age, instead of fighting against it, you shine in a way that no younger man can compete with. A man who is comfortable in his own skin, who does not pretend to be someone he is not, radiates a quiet confidence that is magnetic. That kind of presence draws women in, because it tells her, this man knows himself. He has nothing to prove. He is not desperate for approval. So I say this clearly. Do not compete with younger men. There is no need. You are not on their playing field. Your strength is not in smooth skin or trendy style. It is in the depth of your character. Own who you are now. Own your stories, your experiences, your maturity. Let her see that you are at peace with yourself. Let her feel that you have already walked the hard roads of life and come out standing tall. That steadiness is irresistible. And do not apologize for your age. Too many men joke about being old or downplay themselves as if they are past their prime. But the truth is, a man who fully accepts himself becomes incredibly attractive. A woman senses when a man respects himself, and it makes her respect him too. Self-acceptance is not arrogance. It is a quiet magnetism. And that magnetism speaks louder than anything else you could say or do. So remember this. You are not too old. You are seasoned. You are strong. You are capable of giving a woman something she will not find in a younger man: stability, confidence, and depth. And once you believe this about yourself, she will start to believe it too. There is something else you must know. Women often test men, without even realizing it. She may act uninterested at first, not because she truly rejects you, but because she wants to see how you respond. In her mind, this is a natural way of protecting herself. She is watching, quietly asking, is this man stable, or does he fall apart the moment he faces a little distance? And this is the moment where many men fail. Some collapse. They retreat, wounded, and disappear. Others chase desperately, trying to win her attention back by force. Neither of these responses builds attraction. In fact, they do the opposite. But then there is the man who remains steady. He does not push. He does not run. He simply stays calm, present, and kind. He is not shaken by her coolness because he knows who he is. That man cannot be ignored, because steadiness is not only strength, it is reassurance. It tells her, you are safe with me. I do not need to control you, and I do not need to collapse if you step back. And when that steadiness is paired with gentleness, with warmth in your eyes, with kindness in your voice, it becomes irresistible. Women feel it in their bones. It is rare, and because it is rare, it pulls them in. This is not about pretending to be unshakable. No man is made of stone. But it is about remembering your own worth. It is about holding on to the truth that you are valuable, no matter how she reacts in the moment. Let me share with you a story that has stayed with me for many years. One of my patients, a man in his late 60s, came to me with sadness in his eyes. He told me about a woman he admired from his local church. Every Sunday he would see her there. She was kind, polite, and respectful, but nothing more. She did not seem drawn to him, and he felt invisible in her presence. I remember his words clearly. Doctor, she does not notice me. I am wasting my time. His shoulders were heavy when he said this, as if all the hope he carried for companionship was slipping away. For him, it felt like rejection, like the door was already closed before he even knocked. And perhaps you too have felt that way. Like no matter what you try, a woman will never see you for who you truly are. But here is the part I want you to hear closely. Instead of giving up, this man decided to change his approach. He stopped focusing on winning her approval, because approval seeking always carries desperation, and desperation pushes people away. Instead, he began showing up differently. He started asking her thoughtful questions, questions that made her feel heard, questions that showed genuine interest in her life, her feelings, and her experiences. This was not a performance. It was a shift from chasing validation to building connection, and that shift was powerful. He also began to share more of his own stories. Not stories designed to impress, not boasting or exaggerating, but honest pieces of his life. He spoke about moments that shaped him, the lessons he learned, and even the struggles he overcame. Slowly, she began to see him not as just another polite man at church, but as someone with depth, someone she wanted to know better. And here's what happened next. Over time, her demeanor changed. She started smiling more when she saw him. What used to be brief greetings turned into longer conversations. She began to linger after services, almost as if she wanted to stretch out their time together. She felt safe, curious, and drawn in, without him needing to chase her attention. Then, one day, she surprised him. She looked at him and said, "Would you walk me home?" It was such a small invitation, but it carried a world of meaning. That woman, who once seemed distant and uninterested, was now inviting him into her life, step by step. And today, she is his wife. So what truly changed? Not her. Him. His energy shifted, his presence became steady, his patience replaced his insecurity, and that transformation in him awakened something in her that had been sleeping all along. This is the quiet, extraordinary power you hold when you begin to understand women and approach them not with force, but with authenticity. So let us make this practical. The next time you find yourself sitting with a woman who seems uninterested, the most important thing to remember is this: do not panic. That first reaction of tension, of trying to fix the situation quickly, is what pushes her even further away. When you feel that she is distant, do not reach for the easy tools of humor or endless compliments. Jokes may fall flat, and compliments, if used too soon or too often, can feel empty. Instead, take a step back inside yourself. Relax your body, let your shoulders drop. Allow your breath to slow down, and give yourself permission to simply be. Now, when you look at her, do not see her as a puzzle to solve or a mountain to climb. Look at her as a person, as someone with a story, with emotions, with a heart that deserves to be understood. Let your eyes soften, let your posture calm, and let her feel that you are genuinely curious about who she is, not what she thinks of you. Ask her something that matters, something beyond the surface. Do not rush into rehearsed lines. Instead, choose a question that gives her space to share a piece of herself. It might be a memory, it might be a dream, or it might be a small detail of her day. What matters is not the words, but the invitation you give her to open up. And when she answers, resist the urge to jump in right away with your own story or a quick reaction. Let her words hang in the air. Allow a pause. Let her see that you are not just hearing, but truly listening. That pause, that stillness, is powerful. It shows her that her words have weight with you. It is in those quiet, genuine moments that something begins to shift. She may not even realize it at first, but her body softens, her guard lowers, and she starts to lean in, just a little. That leaning in is the beginning of connection. It is the first crack in the wall she built to protect herself. And once that wall begins to soften, everything changes. My friend, by now you can see something important. A woman's lack of interest in the beginning is not the end of the story. It is not rejection carved in stone. It is simply the starting point, a blank page waiting to be written on. What you do next, how you carry yourself, how you make her feel, can change everything. You have discovered that presence is the first key. When you are fully there with her, when your attention is steady and undivided, she feels something shift. She may not even know why, but deep inside, she begins to feel noticed in a way that few men know how to give. And that presence makes her curious. You have also learned that curiosity itself is powerful. Women are drawn to men who carry a quiet depth, men who reveal their stories slowly, who invite discovery instead of rushing to impress. When you live as a man with layers, someone worth knowing over time, her mind stays open. She wonders about you, and wonder is the spark of attraction. Confidence, too, plays its role. but not the loud, flashy kind that tries to dominate a room. I am talking about the calm confidence of a man who knows his worth, who accepts his age, his history, and his imperfections without apology. This kind of confidence is magnetic because it tells her, I do not need to prove myself. I already know who I am. And then comes steadiness. This is perhaps the rarest quality of all. Women often test men without realizing it. They pull back slightly, not to punish, but to see what you will do. The man who grows anxious and chases loses her respect. The man who collapses and withdraws fades from her mind. But the man who remains steady, patient, and kind, he becomes unforgettable. Put these pieces together and something beautiful happens. Age is no longer a burden. In fact, it becomes your strength, your maturity, your wisdom, your stability. These are the very qualities many women crave. They do not see them as limitations, but as treasures that younger men cannot yet offer. Carry these truths with you into your next conversation and you will notice the difference. The woman who once seemed distant will laugh more freely in your presence. She will look for your company not because you demanded it, but because she feels better when you are near. And in her heart, she will begin to feel safe, alive, and deeply drawn toward you. And now I want to leave you with this. If today's conversation spoke to your heart, I want you to know that this is only the beginning. What you heard today is just one step on a much larger journey toward confidence, connection, and a deeper understanding of women. Every day, I will be right here with you. Not once a week, not occasionally, but every single day. Each time we meet, I will share more insights, more tools, and more truths that will help you. You will learn how to understand women more clearly, how to connect with them more deeply, and how to build relationships that are not only attractive, but truly lasting. Think of this as a journey we are walking together. You are not alone in this. Every day as you join me, you will gain more knowledge, more confidence, and more hope. And each time you apply what you learn, you will begin to notice changes in the way women respond to you, in the way they look at you, and in the way you carry yourself. So if you have not yet done so, I invite you to subscribe and be part of this journey every day. Because together we will keep uncovering the psychology that makes women feel drawn to you. Together we will discover the small but powerful shifts that help you never feel invisible again. And more than that, together we will make sure you begin to feel what you deserve to feel. Deeply valued, truly wanted, and completely enough. Thank you for sharing this time with me today. It means a lot that you are here. And as you step away from this video, I want you to carry one truth with you, a truth I hope you will never forget. You are more than enough, always.